Met with state officials to discuss the future of water in the coastal bend today, but one key group skipped the event. We'll share why. Plus, the war in Iran rages on. We'll hear from Pete Hegseth and General Dan Kane speak on the success of Operation Epic Fury. Chris 6 News at 5 starts right now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Clara Benitez Cortez. Corpus Christi city leaders met with State Senator Adam Hinojosa today to discuss our tightening water timeline. However, one party was noticeably absent. Yesterday, Chris 6 broke the news that the city of Sinton had denied an invitation by the senator to sit down with Corpus Christi leadership. In their statement, Sinton leaders cited concerns with transparency, specifically wanting Corpus Christi to provide essential information and respond to previous proposals submitted in relation to the Evangeline Groundwater Project, a project that Sinton filed a protest against and is currently held up with the San Patricio County Groundwater Conservation District. City Manager Peter Zanoni addressing those concerns.
That will clearly show that the city of Corpus Christi Water, in good faith and with a lot of effort, has been continuously reaching out to the city of Sinton. So having that dialogue to get this project to bring water to the region is going to take continued communication, continued effort.
In today's meeting, the city provided the latest regarding Evangeline and other projects they're working towards in order to avoid curtailment. A report on that meeting will be released in the coming days and will be provided to the governor's office as well. Well, now speaking about water, will we have any more rain in the next coming days? Well, for that answer, let's go ahead and turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Stephanie Lauber.
Yeah, Clara, we are seeing rain in other parts of Texas right now, but we may have one last shot at just a little bit of rainfall. Again, we're just trying to get measurable rainfall on the board. That is our goal in 2026. We need something, and beggars can't be choosers. But even what you're seeing here across far western parts of Texas is a good sign for us. We're seeing what is unfortunately some severe weather out in western portions of Texas, north of San Angelo, and along I-10 out west near Sonora. So that's not a bad thing for us, even though it's far away, because our watershed is far reaching into more western parts of Texas. So that means another drink that may not make it to our reservoirs, but it will at least chip away at the drought conditions out that way. But we may get a little help wetting the grass as we head into tomorrow morning here locally in our neighborhoods. I'll have an update on when you might expect that and what to expect for the rest of spring break ahead.
Well, the Pentagon held a press briefing earlier today with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Kane, speaking on the ongoing conflict in Iran. Here's what Secretary of War had to say.
Today will be yet again our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers, the most strikes. Intelligence more refined and better than ever.
General Kane also spoke on the more strategic decisions and the areas that have been targeted by the United States.
To date, they've struck more than 5,000 targets. U.S. Strategic Command bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound GPS-penetrating weapons on deeply buried missile launchers across the southern flank. Second, we're making substantial progress towards destroying the Navy. In the first 10 days of the conflict, we're more than 50 Iranian naval ships into the campaign using a combination of artillery, fighters, bombers, and sea-launched missiles.
General Kane also followed this up by saying that while the Iranian armed forces are fighting, and he respects that, they are not more formidable than anticipated. Well, if you're planning to get plane tickets last minute, you may not want to wait that long. Airline tickets are also expected to go up due to increasing oil prices. United Airlines Chief Executive Officer Scott Kirby warns prices could rise, signaling higher ticket prices and more fees. However, it is unclear when we could start seeing these increases. Now, gas prices are still on the rise, both here in Corpus Christi and across the nation. Well, according to GasBuddy.com, the current average price for a gallon of gas in the United States is $3.56. Meanwhile, the average price for a gallon of gas here in the Lone Star State is $3.24. And here in Corpus Christi, the average price for a gallon of gas is $3.37. Well, so why does the conflict cause gas prices here in the U.S. to spike? Well, it's not completely because we rely on the Middle East for oil. Oil from the area actually only accounts for about 5% of the United States total oil use. However, the United States does not price crude oil, which impacts the price of gasoline based off of a domestic supply. Rather, it gets priced based off of the global value of crude oil. And with 20% of the world's oil supply going through the Strait of Hormuz, that's caused the global cost for crude oil to spike from $65 per barrel before the war to $90 per barrel today. The United States consulate building in Toronto, Canada, was shot early this morning. Toronto police say that multiple shots were fired. However, they were not able to provide an exact number at this time. It is not believed that any bullets pierced through the bulletproof exterior of the building. According to the Toronto police chief, 2 people exited a vehicle, fired shots toward the building before then leaving. As of now, suspects are still at large. Here's what Toronto police had to say.
There were people inside the building. However, this building is highly secure, highly fortified, and there were no injuries.
And this past weekend, there was also an explosion outside of the U.S. Embassy in Norway. Suspects are also still at large in that investigation. Now, you may have seen some of the satellite images coming out of Iran and the Middle East. However, starting today, access to new images from the region will be a bit delayed. Planet Labs, who provides these images, has a contract with the United States Department of War and other American allies. They say this change is meant to keep adversaries from using fresh satellite data to assess battle damage or monitor military activity. New images will now be held for 14 days before being available online. If you plan to fly over spring break, you might want to get to the airport early. Some travelers are waiting in security screening lines for hours. This is mainly due to the ongoing partial government shutdown. The Transportation Security Administration says agents are about to miss paychecks, and some aren't showing up for work. A bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security has already passed the United States House of Representatives, but has now hit a roadblock in the Senate, with 60 votes needed to pass the Republican-backed bill. Senate Majority Leader John Thune spoke on the shutdown earlier today.
You have now agencies of government with employees who aren't going to get paid that perform important national security functions. Cybersecurity. You think that's not a problem in a dangerous world?
Well, some of the agencies that don't have funding are ICE, Border Patrol, the Coast Guard, FEMA, and TSA. Senator Thune also spoke on the Save America Act, which has been backed by President Trump. And if passed, it will overhaul the process that Americans take to register to vote. Here's what he had to say.
We don't have the votes either to proceed, get on a talking filibuster, nor to sustain one if we got on it.
The Save America Act narrowly passed the House of Representatives last month. A change to an affordable housing bill in the Senate is proving controversial, according to the Wall Street Journal. It restricts large build-to-rent investors. The provision forces them to sell single-family homes within 7 years of construction. The idea is to help buyers, and the National Association of Realtors supports the plan. Build-to-rent industry groups argue it would have the opposite effect. They say it would choke financing, reduce supply, and drive up prices. Well, back in November of 2025, I reported on a Corpus Christi woman suing a local Marine pilot after she claimed he killed their unborn baby by spiking her hot chocolate with abortion pills. At the time, we decided not to name the individuals involved in the lawsuit because we didn't want to name a victim of a crime. Now we know there was no crime committed, according to the Corpus Christi Police Department. Now the plaintiff is facing a $1.1 billion countersuit scheduled for a jury trial in 2027. I'll have that full story tonight at 6. And the voice of Robstown, Rene Vasquez, has passed away.
They're 2-0.
Yeah, we're
Robstown, baby, 2-0.
Officials tells Chris 6 News no cause of death has been determined, but that Vasquez passed away in his sleep. Vasquez was well known for his coverage of sports at Magic 104.9 in Robstown, as well as Calallen, Moody, and Refugio. Back in September 21, 2024, Chris 6 News spoke to Vasquez on his passion for the games he covered.
I try to give them, like, if they're actually behind home plate, they're visualizing the game, they're there.
In recent years, Vasquez battled health issues including diabetes and renal kidney disease, and his condition declined. As his condition declined, he began dialysis, but his dedication to Robstown never wavered. Carlos Lopez, owner of Magic 104.9, says Vasquez was a true cotton picker.
He was so loved in Robstown. Everywhere he went, he always had his Robstown cap on or his Robstown gear on, and everybody knew him. We used to call him really Locker Room Vasquez because it was all about sports.
Lopez tells us they are working on getting him enshrined into the Texas Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame. We share our condolences to the Robstown community.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Welcome back. A touch truck event took place in Portland this morning. Children learned police trucks and fire trucks, and it was a free and interactive event where the community saw firsthand the service behind the truck.
Well, the kids just love seeing all the different vehicles, especially him. He loves the fire truck, and she loved the bulldozer, and just getting to experience all of these different vehicles.
Well, this is part of the city's effort to keep the community informed about the services offered at the library, while also encouraging people to stop by and read.
Well, if you're making the ride home, want to give you a heads up. Sorry for the shaky camera, but our first community bank camera is zoomed in to what appears to be a crash on the Harbor Bridge. This is making things slow for those of you heading into Corpus Christi, but we'll talk about that in the forecast next. Hey there, happy Tuesday. Don't want to keep you on this camera too long. Don't want anybody to get seasick, but you do need to know what you're looking at is a tow truck picking up a vehicle on the new Harbor Bridge. There was a crash on 181, and that has traffic slow heading from Portland into Corpus Christi. So here we go. That's right around North Beach, right as we're starting to get onto that new Harbor Bridge near Burleson. That's where you're going to find that crash. So if you know anybody who's making the ride home that way, let them know. We're going to find those delays. But since there's already somebody on the scene to help scoop up those vehicles involved, I think it won't be long before things are cleared up. Otherwise, traffic's looking good around the rest of the coastal bend, something that we benefit from with spring break, right? Here are some other benefits. We'll take a closer look at the Chris 6 Neighborhood Weather Network at some of the temperatures out closer to the coast with the Bluff and the island in view. Temperatures in those upper 70s with 81 degrees in the Bluff off Graham Road, 78 off Laguna Shores and Shell Weather in the Bluff. On the island, a little bit chillier, 76 off Grenada Drive and 77 from Vortex 3, which is right by the new Bob Hall Pier for some reference. Now, the winds, on the other hand, have been a bit noticeably stronger today. 25-mile-per-hour peak wind gusts at our Grenada Drive, 20 off Vortex 3 by Bob Hall Pier, 22 near Laguna Shores, and as high as 26 from Shell Weather. So a noticeably windier day. That's why we have a small craft advisory out for our nearshore and offshore waters. But if you're heading out to the coast, staying on the beach, may not be too bad. Not quite sandblasting kind of winds, but we've got more daylight to work with here in the evening time frame, sunset tonight and heading into tomorrow after 7:30. Those sunrises will come a little bit earlier, so if you're still adjusting to heading out the door while it's still dark out, that'll only be for a couple more weeks before that starts to work in our favor to get us up and out the door. But something that is helping us out, while we're still going to have some haziness and fog for coastal communities, it looks like that wind is going to help things from getting too poor when it comes to visibility out on the roadways. Here we go, past midnight. Not even much of a problem for the coast. Port A, you'll get down to around 2 to 3 miles visibility, which can be challenging after sunset, but it doesn't look like it's going to be as much of a problem. This is going to be simply hazy over the water as we head into tomorrow. So if you were wondering, those gloomy clouds may actually do something for us early tomorrow morning. Most of the rain that we're expecting over the next 12 hours across Texas will be far west of us, and there may even be some severe weather for our neighbors up in Austin and along the I-35, I-10 corridors. For us, we're just hoping to catch the tail end of those showers. Probably not going to be a whole lot, but we can't rule out some showers between about 7 and 11 tomorrow morning, and isolated showers about it. I think our watershed will get a bigger drink of rain, though. This is how one model puts that into motion. There we go. That's it. We're in for sunshine, clear conditions as we head through the rest of the week. So that'll be our last opportunity for rain chances over about the next week or so. So hopefully we'll get something from it. But good for beach weather. If you're heading out, rip current risk is going to look moderate for tomorrow with those swells around 3 to 4 feet. Now, as for the 7-day forecast, there's going to be a bit of a cool down after tomorrow's rain opportunity. We're talking highs in the 70s and 80s.
More than 8 decades after the attack on Pearl Harbor, a Coastal Bend sailor who was killed that day will finally be laid to rest at home. Chris 6 anchor Michelle Hoffman was there today when the Navy shared the long-awaited news with the family of Clyde Clifton McMeans. After decades of uncertainty, his remains have been finally identified through DNA testing. The Benketti High School graduate was just 26 years old, stationed abroad at the USS California when Pearl Harbor was attacked on December 7th, 1941.
I know that Michael Clyde's in heaven with his parents and his siblings, but it gives me joy to know that he's coming home.
McMeans is not the only Coastal Bend sailor whose story is finally coming full circle. Michelle Hoffman was the first who told us about another Coastal Bend sailor, Roberto Stillman Garcia, who was also killed in the attack on Pearl Harbor. Garcia was finally brought home and laid to rest at the Coastal Bend State Veterans Cemetery last October. Garcia and McMeans both served on the same ship. It's the 2-week anniversary of the new Bob Hall Pier, and it's been a fishing paradise for neighbors. Anglers at the pier are reeling in every moment, from sheepheads to drum and even small sharks. Now, neighborhood news reporter Drew Bishop visited TAMUCC to find out the science behind the fishermen finding great success at the new pier. The director of the Sports Fish Center at the Hart Research Institute says not only is it the novelty of the pier, but the structure itself both contribute to a diverse amount of fish for anglers to catch.
Hard structure grows like a fouling community, which can make food for fish like sheep's head. Eddies and stuff behind the pier legs can concentrate prey and attract more of the predatory fish that people would like to catch.
Strike adds that as the pier's trestle is taken down, it could lead to a small decrease in fish, but he assured that as long as the main structure exists, there will be prey that attracts plenty of fish around the new Bob Hall Pier. Well, if you want to get some cute pics of your pet with the Easter Bunny, then this week is for you. Over at La Palmera Mall from 5 to 8 p.m. on Wednesdays and Thursdays for the next 3 weeks, you'll be able to take your furry friend to pet night with Bunny. All pets must remain on a leash or in a carrier while at the mall. And Uber has now released an option allowing women to request female drivers. It's called Women Preference. The option was first launched in a few pilot cities in August and expanded later in the year. But now Uber is rolling it out nationwide. Cities where Uber teen accounts are available will also let those users and their guardians request female drivers. A ranch milkshake. I'll show you where you can get this new limited time treat when we come back.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Newly published research shows that NASA's 2022 DART mission test was successful in intentionally shifting the orbit of not just one, but 2 asteroids around the sun. NASA says it's the first time humans have altered the path of a celestial body around the sun, and it puts us one step closer to being able to save Earth from an oncoming asteroid. What's Mario Day? This day is celebrated every March 10th because of the abbreviated version of March being MAR and the number 10 looking similar to I and O, making Mario. The character originated in the 80s and has only gained in popularity since. Nintendo is having tons of deals on Switch games and giveaways to celebrate the day. Starbucks just ramped up its reward program. Starting today, they'll have 3 new levels, Green, Gold, and Reserve. The coffee chain says each tier has special perks, including free birthday treats up to a free personalized Reserve card, among other bonuses. Starbucks says it believes the revamp will give customers better value. One resort is coming out with a combination that begs the question, does everything need to be a milkshake? Great Wolf Lodge's Ranch Milkshake mixes together vanilla ice cream and ranch dressing to celebrate National Ranch Day, which is today. It's topped with carrots and sold for $7. There are 2 Great Wolf Lodge locations here in Texas, one in Houston and the other one in Dallas, if you want to try this out, which is a no for me.
I think they should go to jail. They should go to jail. That's a crime against ranch. It's a crime against milkshake. And it's a crime against people.
Absolutely.
No. But
Down.
anyways,
Thumbs down.
Double thumbs down. But the forecast, double thumbs up.
Yes.
We got a chance for maybe some rain in the watershed as we head over the next 12 hours or so. Maybe a quick shower tomorrow morning for us. But once we get past tomorrow morning, the afternoon and beyond, we're looking at dry, sunny weather. It'll still be a bit breezy, but should overall be nice. So if you're heading out to the coast, temps near 80, maybe a little cooler than that, but near 80. And we'll have a south wind that'll still be breezy, such as today's weather was, and a moderate risk of rip current. So please be careful, mind the beach flags, swim with a buddy.
Yes.
All the safety.
Absolutely. Everybody, thank you so much for watching KRIS 6 News. We'll be here back at 6 o'clock.
Bye.